There's about 3 big-time quarterbacks. You can get a receiver anywhere. And they stuck with Tua. And they stuck with Tua knowing in their division they would have to face for the next 10 years Josh Allen 20 times minimum. Bigger, stronger, athletic, agile, huge arm. But they had just drafted Tua, and they could not acknowledge, in a great quarterback class, at a position that's 50-50, if you can get one good quarterback a class, a great one a class. And they stuck with wide receiver, and they stuck with Tua. And Brian Flores knew, I can't beat him. Buffalo's beaten Miami 6 straight times. Josh Allen, as smart as Brian Flores is, and he's a terrific coach, and he may be the second best defensive coach in the league. He can't stop Josh Allen. The last 5 times Josh Allen has faced Brian Flores, he scores 38 a game, 14 TD2 picks, passer rating at 115. Brian Flores can't stop him. Brian Flores knows when I face him, if I stick with Tua for the next 10 years, I will be at a massive size, arm, athletic ability deficit 20 out of 20 times. But they just drafted a quarterback. In a great quarterback class, we're going to go wide receiver. And I'm not backseat driver here. I said it before the class. I said, they got to draft another quarterback. They're going to be too good. They'll never get you. First of all, you're going to have another quarterback class this good? It was like a unique. Next year's quarterback class is one guy everybody acknowledges is a star, Spencer Rattler. And I got to be honest with you. There's a lot to clean up there. A lot. And all I'm saying is, now where's Miami? What are they? Because they don't have anything close to Josh Allen. And Tua's hurt again. Not his fault. Nobody's saying it's his fault. But he had an injury history. And he's small. And he's marginally athletic. There's not, and everybody knew it. And we can't stop Josh Allen. And pride before the fall. Sometimes, and I know guys don't like, go to Twitter for 5 minutes. Guys can't admit they're wrong. But sometimes the most brilliant decision is admitting my previous decision was completely off base. You're not beating Buffalo for a decade unless you get that quarterback position more athletic, bigger, stronger, faster. You're not beating them because Brian Flores now can't even, it doesn't matter. They can't stop Josh Allen. By the way, not many can. Joy with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Ooh, the Colts dropped to 0-2 after losing to the Rams 27-24.
Thank God they're in that division.
Yes. The bigger concern for Indy, though, is the health of Carson Wentz. He left the game in the fourth quarter with an ankle injury and was not able to return. Today is being reported that he actually injured both ankles and is having more tests done to determine the severity of the sprains.
Oh, my gosh. He is, you know, I love Carson Wentz. I mean, look at this. He is so reckless. I mean, I never blame a guy when you're hurt, but he is just putting himself in. He's trying to win the game on every play.
Yep.
By the way,
they want these type of quarterbacks try to make 20-point plays, like plays that don't exist. What is that? Why is that a good decision? And I mean, at this point in your career, you shouldn't be doing things like that.
Especially, yes, exact to your point. I got injury history here. You're watching Sam Darnold in Carolina. Matt Rule is coaching reckless out of him, which is really hard because I've said for years, Wentz and Darnold, big, strong, but they literally play the position like a linebacker. And Baker did that yesterday, trying to make a big tackle. It's like, Baker, let somebody else after an interception make the tackle.
Yeah.
You get out of there. You're a franchise quarterback. Get out of there. But Wentz, I don't know, Joy, if you can coach this out of him. Darnold, I'm watching it happen.
It's a personality thing. It's just, and now I do think that if you are with the right situation, we had a lot of questions about Jameis. If you can get in the right system and everything is, a little more conservative and reels you in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's and he's injury prone. On top of the fact that he's wild, he's injury prone.
This morning, both his ankles are hurt.
Well, there have been a staggering amount of injuries through the first 2 weeks, but yesterday was insane.
Yeah.
Bradley Chubb, Andy Dalton, Brandon Graham, Darrell Henderson, Jarvis Landry, Tua, Tyrod Taylor, Carson Wentz, T.J. Watt, Jermichael Hasty, Elijah Mitchell, and Trey Sermon.
Yeah, T.J. Watt, would that be an update?
It was a groin.
So what's that usually is like a month-long.
Those are bad injuries because they can linger, and it's really like rest.
Yeah, calf injuries and groin injuries, you think it's healed way before it is, and then you re-injure it.
Well, the conversation now is turning to how much of the preseason is really necessary.
Yeah.
Because you are seeing a lot of injuries, so... did we overcorrect now? Is it something in the middle where guys need to just get out there a little bit?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Like, we do this a lot. I've done this in my life. You overcorrect on something. I'm never doing this again, and it's like there's a reason I did something for 20 years. I should probably do a little of it.
Yes, just cut back a little bit. So Bill Belichick has no problem with young quarterbacks. He's a lot of success facing young quarterbacks. He is 22-6 against rookie quarterbacks as the Patriots head coach. Yesterday, no different. Zach Wilson was the latest to experience that firsthand. 19 of 33 for 210 yards and 4 interceptions against New England, and the Jets lost 25-6 for their 11th straight loss to the Patriots.
Well, Belichick is the greatest defensive coach and the best coach of all time, so he's made everybody look bad. And it's not just interceptions. But when you throw interceptions against Belichick, they look terrible. So what he does, pre-snap, he just confuses quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're seeing. So when you look at these quarterbacks, you look as a fan and go, well, how could you throw the ball there? That's not even close. But that's what Belichick does. And Saban does this as well, is they hide what they're doing. So the quarterback has no idea, and then the minute of the snap, the defense changes. Because you go in thinking zone or too deep, and then boom, it's different. And here comes the pass rush, and all of a sudden, you're throwing to a spot, and that spot, there's a person sitting waiting for it.
Well, it's just experience. Bill Belichick has just a little bit of experience in that space. Now, look, I don't think this is anything to panic about.
No.
Zach Wilson was going to have one of these games this season. He might have a few, and you got to be a little patient. Let me look at Joe Burrow yesterday. So, throwing multiple interceptions in a game is not unheard of, even, if you're not a rookie. But
right. Mac
Jones was 22 of 30, 186 yards. He's nice and efficient and calm. No touchdowns, no interceptions. All right, let's talk about these Steelers and these Raiders, for that matter. The Raiders.
Boy, that's as big a win as Gruden's ever had, right?
Big time win.
That has to be the biggest win for Gruden. I thought it was last week. I sat there and that was my lock of the week. Some lock. I loved Pittsburgh yesterday.
I loved Pittsburgh. I took Pittsburgh and the points as well.
So did I.
Wrong-o. We were right about the Panthers, though. So the Raiders followed up their comeback win last weekend against the Ravens with a big 26-17 victory over the Steelers. They're now 2-0 to start the season. But they did have the same early success in 2020 before missing the playoffs, so Derek Carr wants his team to keep up the intensity.
We haven't done what we've wanted to do for the last couple of years. We haven't been to playoffs since 2016. I don't blame that thought process, but at the same time, just as a competitor, you're just like I don't care about any of that. Just put the ball down and let's see if we can turn these into wins. Now, we've started 2-0 before. But we got to keep going. We can't let this thing go downhill. So keeping the mindset, staying in the process, staying in the channel, those are all the things that matter.
It is what's really good for them is Henry Ruggs is now emerging. So we know Waller is a remarkable Hall of Fame level. They did this yesterday, by the way, without their top running back, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
So they didn't go in there with their top running back, which is we always talk about this. I don't want to hear about your injuries. Everybody always, Baker doesn't have Oda. I'm not interested. Nobody's always healthy. So he didn't have his top running back. This offensive line is not as good as last year. And Henry Ruggs is emerging now as an over-the-top threat, which is significant because they've got a middle-of-the-field dominating presence. They need an over-the-top presence. Back-to-back games, he's had an impact. So that's a huge, huge component to it. Derek Carr's game. We don't think of him as a big over-the-top thrower. Now he's got a burner on the back end over the top, and it looks like he's becoming a player.
And they face the Dolphins next week.
Oh, where's that game at?
I don't have it up, actually. My computer decided to freak out on me.
That is tasty.
Yeah, it is. It's very interesting. I don't even want to get into the Steelers. The Steelers cannot run the ball.
It's in Vegas. Oh, that's almost willing to go to Vegas to watch that thing. Joy. I mean, you go to Ecuador every other weekend. You can't go to Vegas?
I do.
Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks